But let's hop on in. We've got game number 1 of this banging quarterfinals match. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner, the fan favorite, one of the best Zerg players in the world. It is Dragon Kitesy Gaming's Dark. Canceling an extractor. Wow, a mistake early on. Crazy. His opponent in the upper right-hand corner making no such mistakes with his Vespene geysers. It is Matcherino Esports' Future, the North American Terran. One of our 2 American players in this round of 8 in the KSL. In fact, I think everybody else is Korean. Yeah, look at that. We don't even have any Chinese players or Taiwanese players. It's 6 Koreans, 2 Americans. You'll love to see it. Again, it has been really sick having Future and Estrella in Korea playing these tournaments pretty much weekly lately. I mean, at least one of them has played pretty consistently every week for the last handful of them. They always give really good games, and I mean, they're very strong players. This is going to be a very tough one for Future. I do think Dark is going to be the heavy favorite, but you know, Dark's not the infallible player that he was once upon a time. Back in the day, Dark never lost to foreigners. A laser was like the one exception before Cyril came along. And even then, Dark, it felt like he would just crush basically everybody all the time. These days, I feel like it's not quite as clear cut. And a lot of times I do see Dark fall to players you wouldn't expect, even if it is just a game. I'd love to see Future grab a game here. And I think he's certainly capable of it. We've seen Future take games off of Solar in past KSLs. Sue, I think. Future took a game off of him as well. So he's certainly got a very strong TVZ. And he's been in Korea for a while, long enough to hit Dark on the ladder, I'm sure, a handful of times. Oh man, I messed up my overlay. So sorry, guys. I blame Ragnarok for that one. Bad casting here. Sorry to confuse you. It is actually Future versus Dark, not Future versus Ragnarok. Ragnarok's been playing under a different name. Just not like his in-game name is different. So I just covered that up in the last series, but yeah, I'll blame somebody in chat. It's definitely somebody in chat's fault. Now Future's opening up Hellions. It's kind of interesting to see Future open up this way because it has been so popular to see the 2 racks opener in Korea, and because Future's there, I kind of expected it. But Future actually has a very specific build happening here. There's a Marauder coming out and a Medevac. So a Medevac, before any sort of add-on, tells us he wants to get aggressive, and it's going to be with the Hellions and Marauders. No concussive shells yet, but it's a very quick upgrade. Could start soon. Oh my god, there's an armory on the way. There's concussive shells. This is going to be a big old 2-base all-in from Future. And we got to see if Dark's going to be able to suss this out. Dark already has a Roach Warren on the way. Oh man, I feel like this is so good for Dark. This Roach Warren finishing up in the back of the main base tells me that Dark, I think, was planning on attacking. And that's usually the best way to defend attacks like this. A lot of times, the Terran attack is meant to just catch the Zerg off guard, catch the Zerg droning, trying to be economical. And in this case, Dark's not doing that. Dark has 11 Roaches on the way. This is so good for Dark. There is a Liberator coming out. Obviously, the Hellbats can still be kind of dangerous here before the Roach count gets too high. But the Queens, they're going to go for that Medevac. They push it all the way back, which means there's no micro potential for these units. But the concussive shell's helping to catch these Queens. The Roaches, though, are just going to push this completely away. Do the Roaches catch this? Actually, I don't know. It looks like they kind of are. Even without Roach speed, they're catching up to it. Dark's going to get into a lair off the back of this. Looks like he's going to just keep the pressure on a little bit and try to push out. Just kind of push this army back. Maybe keep Future playing defensively back at home. Future building a bunker way back behind this wall. His wall could be very vulnerable. A couple of Hellions sneak in, though. grab a drone, and then they'll leave. Yeah, I'm actually worried for Future's wall. I feel like Dark's he's just gonna kill these depots for free. Future does have a third base on the way, but Dark doesn't have a fourth. I feel like this is okay for Future, but it's definitely not fantastic. Oh wait, this is not okay. That tank is gonna go down. The SCVs come out for a repair. The bunker will hold. I don't think Dark can bust that without Ravagers. But he was just trying to keep this unit count low. That's going to make any follow-up attack from Future really, really difficult. And with no tank, there's really nothing to punish these roaches. As I said, Dark can't bust this without Ravagers. Dark says, well, what if I just make those then? Did see a few drones go down as well. I'm guessing that was to the Liberator, which kind of feels like it might be a little bit stronger out front now. I think it is, might already be dead. No, it's coming home. It could be a very useful Liberator here. The tank on the back line's doing some damage. Oh my god, but there's nothing in the bunker. The bile's going down on the tank. They will take it down. And without any DPS here, Future, he's pulling the boys, but it's just the SCVs all on their lonesome. And GG gets called as Dark holds the Hellbat Marauder all in. The big 2-base push out of Future just gets stomped by an unfortunate kind of just a build order loss there. Dark was planning on getting aggressive with roaches, and I don't think he was going to be super committed, but it's a very unfortunate thing for Future, and honestly, it might be a big part of the reason Dark likes to go for those kinds of roach pressures. Yeah, he could get some damage done, but it's also a little bit of a safety, right? Your opponent's going for a Hellbat all-in. There's a reason we don't see too many Hellbat all-ins anymore. As Artosis likes to say, they're just bad. They're just bad. And sometimes the bad strategy can win you the game, especially if it's really off meta. And I think that's why Future went for it here. Like, we don't see them that often. So the Zerg can be really caught off guard by something that you're just not expecting. Your brain's like, oh, I gotta go back a year and a half before I remember how to defend this. But Dark's not really that kind of player. He's a little bit too aggressive. He's pretty much always gonna have units at the ready, because he wants to attack you. He wants to put that pressure on you. And Dark takes a very decisive game number 1. Game 2 is going to be on Royal Blood, once our players are ready. I think Dark actually goes AFK in between games and series more than any other Korean player I've seen. It feels like he's got another game going on like another PC. Like he's playing this one, and then he's like, all right, I gotta swap over here real quick. Yeah, it could be a reverse sweep. Could be time for it. I'm glad to see some people betting on Future. The 1% of the bet. 140k points on Dark. Jansim very confident in Dark's victory. But okay, we're getting into game 2. Loading in. I'm excited for this. I hope this one goes a little bit better for our yellow Terran, spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Royal Blood. For Matcherino Esports, it is Future. And you know what? This is a good time to remember that there's a Matcherino for this tournament. If you want to go over there, if you want to add to the prize pool to help these players out, it will go straight to their pockets. If you just want to hit that claim code button at 25 cents, shout out to Matcherino for helping us out every week with these prize pools. You can do that as well. His opponent in the upper right-hand corner for Dragon Kitesy Gaming, it is Dark. Pool first, Dark. Okay. Another fun thing you can do on the Matcherino, there's little sponsor quests you can do that are on the sidebar. They're not available in every country, but they should be available in a lot of them. You just add, like, usually 10 to 25 cents to the prize pool by, like, following somebody on Twitter or Twitch or subscribing to somebody's YouTube. Just letting you guys know that you could go there and subscribe to my YouTube and add 20 cents to the prize pool. So that'd be really cool. It'd be like a double whammy. But again, it's really cool Matcherino has supported StarCraft so much over the years, even having a team now. You'll love to see it. Just like you'll love to see Dark going for a Roach Warren at the 1 minute 30-second mark. It's just a beautiful thing, really. Now, Future, so far, has not scouted, and I feel like this is a mistake. You're up against Dark. Dark is not averse to 12 pooling. Dark's not averse to these kinds of builds. We see these all the time. And especially against a player Dark feels he is much better than, this is a very common thing to see. Dark is that kind of Korean pro, where he will do whatever build he thinks is going to win him the game the fastest. I really wish Future would have gone for an SCV scout. He is going to see this now, but it feels so late to respond to seeing a Roach Warren. Oh my god, and the drones with the block and just enough damage to cause an issue. There's a Ling in the base too. And this Ling is just pulling Future's focus. Now, can Future get a bunker up in time? This bunker feels so late. The Roaches... Oh, I thought that was a Roach. It's Overlord. Thank goodness. Future does have a little more time than I thought. I was going to say the Roaches are right here. They're a little bit away. The Ling finally does go down. Future just trying to bust out enough Marines to hold on at the front. As the Roaches are already turning into Ravagers, which can start biling down this bunker. But at least the Reaper got that scout. Tech Lab going on to this factory to get out, I imagine, a Cyclone. Depending on how much Future thinks he's committing to this, he could go for a Siege Tank. I'd like to see a Cyclone, though. Roach is going just straight for the SCVs, stopping any repair here. More SCVs, I think, are going to need to come down, as these ones have been targeted down. They're so late to this. Oh, the Marines try to micro out of the bunker, but the bunker is going to go down. They do get out of there. The Ravager finishes its morph. SCVs being pulled just to buffer on the front lines. The Cyclone. Where is the Cyclone? That Tech Lab was done so long ago. Oh, no. And Future responding with just not quite enough here. Fortunately, Dark is only down one Ravager. The SCVs might have to get pulled again. This Ravager, it's still a danger. Even with only 57 hit points, 7 SCVs already going down. These ones are pulling, they're fighting. 2 more Marines show up to save the day. They should be able to finish this off. But I think Dark's quite happy with this damage, as he's up to 33 drones back at home. He's got a 3rd base. It's on the way. Actually, it's not as far done as I expected it to be. I think he's still pretty happy about this. Future waiting for the medevac to be able to spot this. He's going to be able to take down the Overlord. Dark not going to get supply block, though. And Dark getting into Lings now. Ling speed is not done yet, but this army still has to be very careful as those Lings start coming out. The tank follow-up here as well for Future. Oh, a little supply blocked. Gonna start up the 3rd CC. I think Future's actually okay. That, you know what? That was a decent amount of damage, but it was also a very committed push. And it was a lot of units lost here for Dark. So I feel like if he had been able to get away with 1 or 2 of those Ravagers, this would be a little bit better for him. As it is, Ling speed is about to finish. This little drop is only going to get, looks like, 1 Queen. And then the Ling speed will force these units to at least micro a little bit more. You know what? There's a little space behind this spawning pool, though. And all the Lings go down to the good positioning of the Cyclone. Future getting good damage done with this drop. I thought the Lings were going to be able to cover it. They're on the other side of the map, though, forcing a cancel on that command center. SCVs are fighting. They got to repair this tank. It looks like they will be able to hold. The cancel on the CC is awful, though, and while Future's focused back at home, the medevac goes down, which means the rest of those Marines will fall. A couple of drones died. A Queen went down. But overall, Dark holds, gets a little bit of counter damage, and no 3rd CC has gone back up here for Future. He canceled that 3rd, and he's just like, all right, screw it. 2 bases it is. He's got Stim on the way. He's got 3 medevacs here. +1 started up. Actually, was that just a kill? Oh, I didn't realize. I thought it was a cancel. Straight up killing that command center. Future struggling to deal with the multitasking of Dark. That being said, Future is up workers. Dark's only on 36 drones right now. He's got Roaches and Ravagers on the way. This Spore Crawler finishing up at the perfect time to try to deal with this Liberator. The Liberator still being annoying, but gonna have to go hide in the back corner for a little while. Dark, though, he's about to put some pressure on. I think Future's got enough stuff here, though, where I don't think Dark's gonna be able to break through very easily. I could see Dark just trying to bile down this engineering bay, which is working on +1, but as Stim finishes, Dark actually has to be kind of careful here. That's a lot of Stim Marines that are coming out right now from Future. Oh, but the wall opens at the worst time. The Ravagers move forward. They're going to try to bile down that tank. They do get the tank, but another tank shows up at a very opportune moment. The wall, though, has been breached. The Liberator sieges up, but one more bile is going to take care of it. The tank doesn't get the siege up, but it is just helping, but is it going to be enough? No medevacs here to help heal these units up. More Marines trying to come down, but the Lings spill in, and that door being open might have just spelled death here for Future. Felt like he was doing such a good job in this game, but he wasn't expecting Dark to just attack on 40 workers with Ling Roach Ravager, and that was his mistake. You know, you always got to expect Dark to attack. I will say this +1 is very close to finishing, and if he can hold on until that +1 finishes, the Stim here being very helpful. He's going to boost back. The wall is going to fall, but there's a tank up on the high ground. That +1 finished. Future doesn't care about this engineering bay nearly as much anymore. The Marines here can now stutter step a lot better. They're not afraid to Stim because they have their medevacs out. And another tank shows up. Future is going to stay alive, but it feels like that's all he's doing at this point is staying alive, because this time Dark isn't behind on workers on the other side of the map. He's up 24 of them. He doesn't have to commit to this. Dark can just push this back, and I think what Dark doesn't know, which bodes so well for him, is that there's no third command center. We don't see a third CC at all for Future. The first attempt died, and I think Future's just completely all in here. He's going to go for the full lift up, not even rebuilding the wall back at home. He's just sending it across the map. But Dark, he's got a decent amount of army here. He's not spotted this yet, though. He's going to spot it a little bit late, and that's going to allow the tanks to get into the main base. There are some Lings and Roaches here, though. But it looks like Future's not going to commit to the sieging up of the tanks. He's just going to try to pick up and get out of here. One of those medevacs is really low. Oh, he gets that siege tank. I cannot believe it. No Spore Crawler down here, though. Future making some things happen. Needs to kill some drones, though. I feel like he needs to do more than just kill a couple of units and damage some stuff here. And I'm getting really worried for him. Oh my god, but he's pulling the boys. Why be worried? He's got the boys here. And now, if Future wasn't all in before, he's completely all in now. And I don't think Dark's realized just how all in he is as he tries to bow down the tank, but he doesn't get the third shot off. That tank is going to stay alive and continue to be good support for Future to pull back to. There's a lot of Ravagers here. The bile actually kills one of Dark's own Overlords. Doesn't really make much of a difference. The tank actually getting repaired up. Oh, it's going to stay alive through another set of biles. Dark committing a lot to that. And now he's got to fall back. He's giving up his third base. He knows he's killed a lot of SCVs. He can afford to lose the base. He can afford to lose some drones here. But Future, it suddenly feels like he's kind of back in this. He's going to send the boys home. And he could keep this pressure up. He could try to just go for some drops as well. Yeah, he's going to pick everything up in the medevac and go into the main base. There is a Spore Crawler here. Okay, Future backs up. I feel like he could have dropped there, but it's super, super sketchy, especially with the Ravagers out. Dodging biles when you're in the main base like that is so difficult. But now Dark, he's locked on 2 bases. Future could start up another third CC. I'd kind of love to see him start up a third CC at this point, because Dark's going to replant this third. But 55 workers just doesn't help you when you're this oversaturated. And we see he's going to send a bunch to long distance mine, because it's better than just having them oversaturating that base. But even then, that's not going to be a great economic position for Dark. And Future's got a ton of army. That being said, 1-1 just finished for Dark. So his army just got a lot stronger. And Future needs to be really, really careful. Well, Roaches and Ravagers are a little bit away. Marine's going to stim forward. But as he sees this army, I think he's just going to lift up and get on out of here again. I love the cute little play. I love that he's just got tanks in here too. Got to watch out for any predictive biles from Dark. Yep, just like that. You got to watch out for those. Oh, he's going to try to boost in. Sees the Queens, backs up again. Oh, that is a powerful looking army from Future though. And I think he's trying to catch this army way out here or send it back up into the main base. He's trying to bait Dark into committing units up into the main. He's going to stim. He's going to start taking a fight up here. Dark thinks he's got him trapped, but it was the trap that Future set up. But can Future actually win this fight? He's losing the tanks on one side. Whoa, some more tanks show up, but where's the rest of the pile? There's not enough here. Future, it was such a beautiful engagement, it looked like. But Dark just had a little too much stuff, and I think that 1-1 really helped him out. The tanks being unsieged, and now they siege up, but they just get biled down. Oh, man. Future is going to at least take down a lot of the expensive army here, but I think he's got to back up as more roaches show up. Again, that 1-1 feeling so strong. And the problem here for Future, he still doesn't have, there's no longevity here. He's on 37 SCVs. He's just spilling Marines and Marauders across the map, but Dark's third base is up. His production is back. It's ready to go. He's even got 2-2 on the way. Burrow and Tunneling Claws started up too, so Dark can start to get really cheeky with a handful of roaches here. And I don't think Future's going to be ready for that. I don't think Future's ready for much at all. He's bringing some SCVs to repair these tanks. But I think this is one last all-in from Future, and we'll see if it's going to be enough. The tanks are going to get healed up. These roaches, though, they're going to be able to slip in here unnoticed and start to really work on this worker line. Future starting to slow push forward. He's going to scan up the ramp. The roaches unburrow in the back of the base. I think there's a couple in the main as well. Scan to try to take care of him. Looks like these roaches might go down. Not getting as much damage as I expected. But Future's not doing anything in the meantime. He's not putting any pressure on. He doesn't have any drops trying to go off in the main base, although Dark's defense up there has been fantastic. The Liberators siege up. They are going to get biled down. At the expense of a handful of units, but I think that was well worth it for Dark, taking down both of those Liberators. The tanks start moving forward again. But it feels like Future's taking too long. Look at that army supply lead for Dark right now as the bio stims forward again. Oh, Roach is moving around the side. I don't think Future's going to be ready for this. As I say that, though, he scans. And the Roach has got to back up a little bit. 7 SCVs went down back at home. Future just doesn't have much of an economy left. Another great scan for Future. And he's going to actually blast some of those Roaches. Oh, the stim backwards. A lot of roaches going for a counterattack. I think Future actually has enough back at home to deal with that counterattack now as he stims these units back. As long as he's a little bit careful here. He does have enough on the defense. Closes up the wall. Oh my god, yeah, those roaches got to get out of there. There's just not a lot of bio here to really put pressure on. And the tanks are so far back, they're not helping at all. Roaches are going to burrow. They're going to try to hit these tanks from the backside. I think Future needs to be really careful. Moving out with this bio once again. Some more medevacs would be great here, but Future's mineral income is so low. He just has so few SCVs actually mining. Oh, and the GG as the tanks get surrounded. They get biled, and Dark finally finishes off that game. Future making him really fight for it, making him really sweat for it. But it wasn't in the cards this time. Dark gets the 2-0 victory over the American Terran, and we'll get to fight Ragnarok in the semifinals.